Mark Van Horn. I'm very happy to be the principal here at MAMS, and I would like to welcome you all to the 6th and 7th grade winter concert. As a parent of 3 teenagers, I know that nobody comes out to hear the principal speak. All right, so I'm going to turn things over. Mr. Cotter, Mr. Wells have been doing a great job getting all of our students ready. They sound great. Sit back, and for the next 45 minutes or so, enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Tonight is actually a bit of a special night. Several years ago, when we started doing the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band, and I was the only teacher doing it, I realized that we ran into a bit of a problem, and that was basically having a big enough space to accommodate all the parents. So I decided to do the concert like one of our chorus teachers used to do in the gym. And weirdly, unfortunately, I ended up getting laryngitis the day of the concert. So I had 3 different bands, I couldn't say anything, maybe that was a good thing, and I realized it was not the best place because where the band really should be is on the stage here in our great auditorium. So I started to split up our ensembles by having 6th and 7th grade one day, and the next day would be 8th grade and jazz band. But we ran into that wonderful disease that we went through a couple of years ago, and our bands kind of shrunk down a little bit, that we were able to accommodate all of the families and the parents in one night. So that's what we've been doing for the past couple of days. But, I'm sorry, not days, a couple of years. And this year, I was looking at the numbers and I was like, yeah, we have to go back to having 2 performances because there are too many parents and families and stuff like that. So this is an extraordinarily good day. It's a good thing. It's a happy thing. I know it's a little bit of a craziness for me because I have 2 concerts back to back, but I am so glad to see so many of you here in support of the children here on stage and the ones that will be on stage in a few moments. So thank you very much for coming out and to enjoy the show. Before you right now on stage is our 6th grade band. We have a good number of these children that just started playing their instruments this year, and basically they're learning a new language, and they are really, really coming around, trying to speak the language, trying to understand how to read the language, and it's been such an amazing pleasure in working with these students. So let me be quiet so we can get to the music. Our next selection is it's called In the Calm of the Starry Sky, where all of a sudden it's going to paint a nice, pretty picture, followed by something that's a little bit more hard-hitting called the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next selection is going to feature our trumpet section. One of the cool things about being a brass player is that you can be really loud if you choose to be. I'm a brass player. I had a director once tell me, say, "Oh, I want you to put lung tissue on the wall," and which basically meant to basically blow your lungs out of the bell. I'm not going to ask them to do that today. There's a time for that. They can do that at home with you. But our trumpets, they're going to show you how terrific they are. So the trumpets. This is a long title. Our tumultuous, trustworthy, and terrific trumpets. Our last selection that we're going to be playing for you is something called "The Soul of Our School." One thing which is kind of awesome is that when you can feel a connection to your school. Some of the children I know that they take sports activities and stuff like that, and having that connection by sports, by band, by different art forms. I also do the theater here. Doing these different activities is really, really important for the kids. It gives them a place to belong, as well as to support the school. And being a former alum of the Mattawan school system, I feel that deeply. Just being able to support the district and support the school, it gives me a sense of pride. So you're going to hear a little bit, we changed the words of this. Oh yeah, they're going to be using words for this song, I forgot to mention. So you're going to hear them using some words that we changed the words, and you'll hear some school pride in this one. And this is going to be our last selection for the 6th grade band, so thank you very much. And if you catch on to the words and you want to join in, go for it. our 7th grade band. If you are available tomorrow night, you'll get a chance to see the 8th grade band and jazz band. But tonight, we have our top group for the evening. The reason why I say that is because they chose that song. They were asking me, I guess it was maybe about a month and a half ago, they were like, hey, can we do Carol of the Bells? And I'm like, well, it's a little challenging. And they're like, yeah. Especially with that it's not the easiest thing to get in your fingers, but they worked really hard to get that down, and they did a fantastic job. One of the things that I enjoy with working with the students here, that sometimes they make these requests of doing music that it's like, oh, wow, you want to do that one? And okay. Sometimes they don't realize it's a challenge, and I get to see, I was like, ooh, I have so many wonderful opportunities to teach. That almost sounds a little devious, but it gives me what they call teaching moments, where it's like they get a chance to experience something that is actually a little bit more challenging than they realize, but because they're into it, they're very, very capable of doing it. So I was really happy to hear that they wanted to do this one. The next selection, Shenandoah. This one is a very special one to me. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a very, very beautiful American song. If you know the Shenandoah Valley down like in parts of Virginia where it's like really, really gorgeous. My in-laws live down there, and it is a vocal piece, but our ensemble is going to be able to sing it to you through their instruments. So our next selection is Shenandoah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I try to teach the students in my class, when we're playing music, for example, when you go to the movies, the music accompanies the movie most of the time in a really, really good way so that it helps move the story along. Some of the music that we play sometimes is written around a story. And this next song, Creatures in the Attic, has a little poem that I'm going to try to recite for you, if I can see it. I have a little secret that I'll no longer keep, explaining lots of the little sounds when everyone's asleep? Is that wind I hear outside or knocking at the door? They just might be my fuzzy friends making noise between each snore. They start off very quietly, then all the lights go out. They check to make sure no one's watching, then start to dance about. Pretty soon, they're going crazy, a midnight celebration. I'm glad they're having so much fun, but where's my invitation? As soon as dawn approaches, they start to settle down. Putting all their toys away, they cease to make a sound. And when we wake up wondering, was it creaking or TV static? Others may wonder, but now you know, it's just the creatures in the attic. Our next selection is a little unusual. Every once in a while you will see on YouTube, I guess TikTok too sometimes, wherever they're showing weird videos, you see people playing unusual instruments. I think one of the more unusual instruments that I had to produce here for our bands, I had to make a lion's roar, where I had to take a part of a drum, stick a string through it, and then you take a moist rag and you pull the string, and it gives you this really bizarre roaring sound. Now, the instruments that we're using is not as bizarre as that. We have fans, and we also have glasses. Yeah, be careful with that. Yeah, I say be careful because I broke a glass. So, yeah, they didn't, I did. So you're going to hear our percussionists that are going to be playing the pots and pans as part of the song. These are some of the kind of Christmas classics, if you will, and you're going to hear some of the melody being played by those instruments. So this is Christmas in the Kitchen. sorry, because they're probably tapping on all kinds of stuff, which means that anything can be a percussion instrument. There was a video that I saw, which is always fascinating me. It was like this big guy that was shirtless, that these percussionists were like tapping on his belly and on his chest and stuff. Yeah, anything can be a percussion instrument. So, parents, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Before we perform our last selection, I'd like to say thank you to several people. Administration, thank you very much for your support and stuff like that. Yes. This year, we tried something a little new, which has been, so far, it's been working out nicely. I mentioned earlier how we have a good number of beginners that are in the 6th grade band, and we have several that are beginners in the 7th grade band, and we have a few that are beginners in the 8th grade band. Mr. Cotter, who teaches at the high school, and you see his name on the program, he's been coming down and he's been giving us an extra hand, and it's been really, really helping out with kind of helping out those people that need a little bit extra bit of a hand. Because doing it by yourself, it's doable, but it's one of those things that it's a little bit more of a challenge that, I hate to say it, but sometimes somebody can get missed because everyone has all these crazy needs, and then sometimes by just having that one extra person, those needs can be met. So thank you, Mr. Conway. When is your high school concert?
Our high school concert is Tuesday the 19th. Please consider bringing any and all of your family. We'd love to see you there with the chorus and the band. A shameless plug, we want all these kids to continue with music for their whole lives. So at the end of the concert, attendance will be taken. Nice postcard, and we hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Yep, 7 o'clock on the 19th. Our last selection, this one is a weird Christmas song, Pirates of the Caribbean. I've often joked because when you think of pirates, they always say yo ho ho, and I realize Santa just says ho ho ho, so I think maybe Santa's a pirate, but that's just my weird way of thinking. So just to give you a little bit of logistical stuff for the end of the concert, when the concert is done, parents, if you can hang out front and not come back there, we're going to have a large number of students that are going back to put their instruments away, putting their music away, all that sort of stuff, that as soon as they get packed up and they grab their coats, they'll be coming out to meet you, so that we don't have a bunch of people back here. I'm sorry if I chased some people away earlier, but quite frankly, some of you are adults that I don't know, and when you're around my students, it makes me a little weird and nervous. But please take your child home. Not somebody else's, take your child home. So thank you very much for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you at the next concert.